Hello and welcome to my Pillars of Eternity part 47 of blind playthrough of my definitive edition. In the last episode we continued a little bit in the Twin Elms village and we will be going probably a little bit further today as well. So do not I will be not waiting too long and get into it. Anyway, so as you can see, we are at the moment at the Twin Elms part called Elms Reach, and inside that we are in the Bloodsands cave where all the sacrifices are happening. So my party is here, and 3 are already level 14 and another 3 will still need to get to the high enough level. Well,
Certainly.
we have some quests now, and we will continue to follow them. We also finished in the last episode big part of the Hiravia's character quest, and we need to get to Burial Isle to finish it.
Certainly.
Okay, the closest exit is here. Every sacrifice... What? Every sacrifice gives us with the power to save lives many times over. Well, as you say. But...
Estremor.
time to go to Oldsong then. I think. We'll see what awaits us there.
Slow and silent.
Let's see. Oldsong Pass, Burial Isle, and the Hertsong district. Okay, let's check it a little bit here. Mind your path, Estramor. The guided compass trusts easily, but I don't How does one get to Burial Isle? The guards from studying you a moment. It is not customary for Estramorn to seek it. They have little understanding of its significance. But for those who would pay respect, Hall will ferry them across. He embarks out of the docks in Oldsong.
I'm on the trail.
The stone is pitted with the marks of ancient chisels and furred with moss.
We can't stay down.
The two wood elves, a man and a woman, were called for robes embroidered with a matching emblem, a winged egg. Apart from their clothing, they couldn't be more different. She folds her arms and continuously scowls at the broken walls around them. He, on the other hand, mutters prayers, his shade-dappled face as tranquil as a cloudless sky.
Just how are we supposed to worship the Sky Mother from among the weeds, hmm? This is a disgrace.
Calm yourself. We should be grateful that she protected us from the winged terror. Besides, even here we have a visitor.
What's this winged terror you speak of?
A dragon. One that has taken up residence in the Nest, the true temple of Helia, and slain many of her faithful. And one which Anuin has been in favor of killing from the beginning.
But no, you advised caution. Now word spread that the dragon ate a few of our followers, and anyone willing to slay it wants an Anumfoth's ransom for the job.
I told you a larger party wouldn't stand a chance. By the time the first half reached the top of the mountain, the second half would still be stuck in the pass. They'd be burned alive. Contrary to Anuin's suggestion, I am in favor of sending someone to kill the dragon. But I suggest a smaller party, and one willing to seek Helia's blessing.
He gives you a curious look. I could go after this dragon.
You could.
What she means is that this is no mere drake, but a fully grown dragon, and one that has willingly moved into a populated area. You'll want every advantage at your disposal, including the blessing of the Sky Mother herself. I would suggest that you petition her directly at Ter Evron, if you haven't already.
She points to a path on her right leading north and up a slope. You'd want to follow this path here. You'll pass through the north-well, but the way up the mountain continues from there. It's near one of those big circles laid by the builders. Let me ask you something else. Go ahead, then. Language is also sacred to our goddess. Something else you wish to speak of? I have the questions about the dragon. I'll tell you as much as we can. He gives Onwen a stern look. Has this sort of thing happened before? Never. Our order would have started to resemble the Fangs a long time ago. Perhaps there is a reason this has happened now. She scowls. Let us be clear. You suggest that there's some misdeed in our midst, that we've committed a crime against our goddess or some other, and received our just punishment. Onwen, please. He lays a hand on her shoulder. She shakes his hand off. I don't know why these things happen, why our own Mother Goddess allows scores of her followers to perish among flames. She narrows her eyes, speaking between her teeth. And if you ever discover why, I invite you to come back and tell the rest of us. How did the dragon come to be here? With a great beating of wings and the fiery roar. Who knows why those beasts come and go? It's here, and that's what matters. If you're asking why this has happened, only the gods know. I suspect it's a test of faith from Hyla herself, but who can say? Well said, Hiravias interrupts with a chuckle. These two have a little bit of whale in them. He breathes in deeply, smiling as if awash in the smell of baked goods. This is a mystical playground controlled by unknowable deities. There are so many other things to worry about that than how and why of, well, anything. When did the dragon first show up? He looks skyward, thinking. It was several weeks ago. The creature cloaked the sky like a thundercloud and descended upon us all at once. There was no warning. Can you tell me anything else about the dragon? She opens her mouth, a crooked sneer on her face, but seems to think better of whatever she was about to say. After a pause, she says nothing. We truly wish we could tell you more, but we, like the rest of Hyla's faithful, were running for our lives, and we were more fortunate than most. That's all I wanted to know about the dragon. Language is also sacred to our goddess. Something else you wish to speak of? This is the temple of Hylia.
A sharp tongue indeed. You hear this, Wag?
Relax, Anuin. I'm sure he meant nothing by it. Forgive my consort. She's been rather excitable of late. This is not, as you seem to recognize, our actual temple. It's merely a shrine we've set up after the business with Dragon.
I'd like to know more about Hylia.
Why, she's the goddess of song, art, the sky, and maternity. She's gentle and brilliant, speaking to her followers in dreams, inspiration, and birdsong. It is said that she wears a cloak adorned with a feather from every bird known to kith or wilder, and that she manifests in the flocks themselves.
Aye, and in the screams of childbearing, which I can assure you is not so beauteous a thing.
And this is true, which is why midwives are widely considered clergy of Helia, as are many artists and poets. In any case, those of us who follow her feel closest to her splendor in a place where we might share light, song, and a view of the blessed sky.
Goodbye. A menace roosts in Hyla Temple, and it has scattered her worshippers. I've been tasked with facing this threat. In the mountains about Twin Elms, something sinister haunts Hyla's temple. I've been asked to confront this terror and putting an end to it. High Priest Kasfath and High Priest Onwen told me about the dragon, and I suggested I seek counsel from Hyla herself. I may be able to communicate with the goddess at Tirevron in the Elms Reach district. Good.
I'm on the trail.
Solid iron bars block a dark passage. They don't budge, and there doesn't appear to be any mechanism for raising them from the outside. Even the tongues of stone bramble are livelier than yours. This Glenfatton woman carries herself with pride. This district was once one of the liveliest. Okay, we have Northveld open up, so we'll go there a little bit later. Interesting.
This almost feels like home.
A chill hover over the frozen lake, draining the air of warmth. What's this? Frost. Let's get there a little bit later. The ice keeps growing like poisonous mold on a tree. Our hospitality has been consumed by the pale elves. The Anamphata must act. A season at least, until their next council. Provisions and trade happens in the market, Northwest Herzog.
What brings you here?
A thin, ragged man stands waiting on the barge, leaning on the oar. A smile of greeting splits his weathered features. It has been a very long time since an outsider sought passage to the burial isle. What is this burial isle? It is a sacred place, for it sits upon the great works of the builders. There, by our ancestors, all our Anamphats are laid to rest. Few go there, my friend. It is not a place where the living to walk. Is it dangerous? Dorhal nods solemnly. Those I bring to the island return the same way, or else not at all. It is home only to the dead, spirits, shades of the builders remain, and watch over our Anamphara. They are bound to the island and protect it fiercely. Forever. Doral, guard and bargeman of Oldsong, has told you that the burial isle is unlike any other districts of Twin Elms. The island is a burial ground for the Anamphats of the Six Tribes and a dangerous place. Okay, I will be going there a little bit later. Still.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Another Estramor, even the builders' temples are not safe from Another Estramor, even the builders' temples are not safe from unclean feet these days. The rains have softened our senses, I told you. The hunter gives you a stiff nod.
Just be glad we aren't going through the back door to this place.
She won't accept, and the Lion Clan's warriors guard her deep inside the maw. Ernos will run her down. This is, I claim. So, going through the back door to the Galavin's maw seems icky. Nothing to be found here. Yeah. What do we have here? They claim so, yes. The High Oath rarely stands under the shade of Elm's Reach anymore. After countless seasons as the druid's leader, it surprised me that he now leaves her community behind. Mm, Interesting.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Let's talk to Urva.
Hail, Estremor.
An Oran woman stares at the sky with an air of deep contemplation. She occasionally puffs from a wooden pipe, blowing smoke into perfect rings. What stands before me? She wipes her lips with the back of her hand. Her teeth, uneven and pointy, are stained red. I do not see Estraworm often. She picks the remains of an okra root stuck in her gums, and believe me, I see many things. Perhaps you want to see them too, yes? She gestures behind her at an assortment of plants, roots, and files lying on the rack. Let me see what you have for trade. I present these happily. Mm, Maybe at a later time.
Be cautious. Be constant.
Let's check this way first. And what are they to us, these pale elves, strangers to us all? My blood runs cold like a river from the white mountains when I stride near the temple's grounds. No one to please, no crowd to inspire, no fury maiden's kiss to spark my song's fire. What would I give for the old days to return? Let's see what you can.
Many blessings, traveler.
Salutations, Estremor. The Orlan chirps in a sing-song voice. I am known as Delem, chanter of Oldsong. I trust you are enjoying the beauty of this sacred place. Are you the resident entertainer? I think to entertain Oldsong visitors, but alas, the crowds have thinned into little more than a trickle. The chill wind from Rimgard's temple is driving people away. No, I think, but nobody listens. My music is without purpose. But I know of a solution, a way for me to make my songs warm and passionate, countering Rimgard's incessant shield. The Orlan smiles and reaches out with a grasping motion. All I need are a few rare songbirds. I could eat them and absorb their musical energy. With that kinds of musical proofs in my soul, I could sing a song that could bring back the merry crowds. You want to eat the songbirds? I don't think it works that way. The Orlan stares at you, dumbfounded, before rolling his eyes and lecturing you. Eating the muscles of animal makes you stronger, right? And if you consume green stalks, do you not take on their pungent smell? Even down to the water you pass? He smiles, pleased with his reasoning. Just as one cannot sweat if one is parched, I cannot think without a nourished soul. It's all very basic. Did your parents teach you nothing of the food dropping cycle? Uh, Spare me your reasoning. I'll help. Dylan's eyes widen with daylight. Splendid, he claims with clapping hands. For my song to be pitch perfect, I will need a tayam, a bird often found throughout twin elms, often in high trees nests, but some have been domesticated. I'll also need a shardwing. Shardwings prefer to nest in an adra formation, suits their natural camouflage to the best. Oh, and most importantly, if I plan on hitting those high notes, I'm going to need a cloud singer. Those little warblers can only be found in the highest mountain peaks. Many thanks, Estramor. Bring me these birds and I'll sing like Hyla herself. Dylan, chanter of Oldsong, is looking for rare songbirds. He claims that by consuming these exotic birds, he can absorb their musical nature. He hopes this will enable him to compose a song amazing enough to repulse the chill wind that has set upon Oldsong. Dalam and Orlan in the Oldsong district misses the lively crowds that used to dance and sing in the plaza before the noon frost chill drove them away. Delem believes that if he can consume the flesh of three rare songbirds, they will strengthen his spirit, and he will be able to draw back the crowds. Delem gave me some useful information about the birds he seeks. The Tayam is a favorite among Glanfatans, usually kept in cages, but uncommon to find nevertheless. The Shardwing is a small bird that tends to live in the underbrush and usually near large other structures, where its iridescent turquoise feathers blend against the rock. Finally, Dylan wants a cloud singer, an extremely reclusive and hard to find bird who nests only the rocks of the highest mountains of Erglanfath. And if I remember it correctly, I found one birdcage at the Hardsong district. But I'm getting a little bit annoyed by the sound effects of the tiny sporling pet, so I will use something different. Let's use the orange tabby cat.
Quiet.
Channel the enemy's thoughts and just commands their mind. Do you understand? No. You can't lie to a mind hunter, but at least pretend to humor me a little, would you? I am instructing Estramor. What do you need? Nothing. Very well. Okay. Let's get here. Rimground silence speaks for itself. The god of winter no longer communes with his own faithful, not even out inside Noonfrost.
I'm on the trail.
Interesting. Looks like that's it. So, Galavinus Mow will be the next, and then the Noonfrost. I was a child and Sul already reigned in Galavinus Mow. That many seasons? She won't stand a chance against the giant bear. A dank, sultry draft issues from the cave within the beast's head. Condensation drips from the stone teeth. Let's go in then.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
The viscous liquid gives off a sharp metallic odor. The enemy won't wait. Let the blood paint flow, I say. The toll's too large, or are you eager to sacrifice your own for your paint, first blade? The hunter gives you a stiff nod.
Arensi has no right to defend that cowering cat in the back of the maw.
Then track her down and tell her yourself.
Interesting. Alva hasn't returned yet, that's why. This hunter sizes you up with a casual glance. Okay, Lara is here. May their blood freeze in their veins. The coarse scent offers modest cushioning, it shifts and sides underfoot.
Estremor?
An Orlan woman stands ankle deep in the sand, sharpening a spearhead. Another wanderer from the frozen lands. She points the flint spearhead at you. Battle may be wide-eyed and soft-headed, but I'm not so easily fooled by your Estramorm. I've got my eye on you. Have other foreigners come this way recently? Lamb Felon, worshippers of Rimergant, they claim, simply looters and defilers by another name. That's the truth. The spearhead flashes as he shakes and at the door. They disappeared behind the doors of Noonfrost, and now our lake turns to ice, and the cold creeps ever closer. She digs a trench in the sand with one bare foot. Yet Bretel is timid, and she has convinced the other Anamfada that we must respect these Estramorm and their traditions, no matter what mischief guides their hands. She raises her head, slowly looking back towards the entrance. Bethel is looking out for twin elms in her own way. Soft words accomplish little, yet they fill the mouth of Estramorm. I send my own sister, one of my finest scouts, to sniff out the pale elf's corruption. I was certain that Anamfada could not ignore the defilement in the Nunfrot once Alva's own eyes had seen it, but she still hasn't returned. She looks away. No, I bear the responsibility for her fate, and I can't send the fangs after her without openly defying the Anamfada. I could look for Alva. She gives a guarded look. I don't dare to hope. Whatever catastrophe has befallen Noonfrost does not feel like the work of Kith, but nothing would bring me greater joy than seeing her again. She glances at the sand and frowns. I would take any assistance you can give. What are you doing here? My stocks equip my brethren in the fangs, and my hands train them to fight, hunt, and track the skill. What purpose brings you here? Tell me about them all. An ancient place of peace and dangers. As followers of the Clover Hound, we assemble and train here as hunters, warriors, and defenders of the Builder's sacred places. Chaos pervades the mall, and more than ever, due to this stalemate between the beasts. She shakes her head, but Destin refuses to interfere, and manage to settle the matter over blood. Do you have any supplies for sale? Only the finest. What's Harbinger? Hmm. Okay, I will be doing that hatchet for Sagani. The lake in Oldsong has begun freezing over ever since the arrival of a group of pale elves. Lara, a member of the Fangs, sent her sister Alva to investigate. Alva went to the Temple of Noonfrost looking for answers. She hasn't returned. Alva, as Code of the Fangs, went missing in Noonfrost, the temple on the lake. Lara has sent Alva to investigate the cult spreading from the temple. Lara believes the pale elves who recently came to the temple may be cause of this. Regardless, I may be able to find Alva or evidence of her disappearance in Noonfrost. Good. This might be a decent upgrade for her.
On the hunt.
Let's search a little bit around. I thought Lara wouldn't do it, sending her own sister. The stones at the edge of the chasm are slick and beaded with moisture. The stones at the edge of the chasm are slick and beaded with moisture. So, let's talk to Ainden.
Come to see the great Oernos, Estremor? He's out for a hunt, but he'll be back. Unlike that lioness, he doesn't stay cooped up in here for long.
Why can't Ernest go and find the lioness?
Because she holes up at the back of the maw, surrounded by her pride and the natural hazards of this place. It's not the proper way to meet a challenger. She's got to come out and face Oernos to keep her claim. Anyway, her prime is past. Putting that old beast down would be a mercy at this point.
What are you doing here?
We wait for the big confrontation, but the wait grows exhausting. While Sul hides in the back of the maw, Oernos is denied his victory, and we're all denied the champion we deserve.
I could take care of Sul. His callow stump makes a scraping noise against the blade of his axe. I hate to spoil the tradition of a big showdown, but if she retreats from her fight, then there's no point in waiting. Kill her, and that will be proof enough that she's not a fit champion. Goodbye. Oh. Not nice from you. This hunter of the fangs moves with cat-like grace.
now.
Pin spears the hide map at a handful of locations along the Glenfranc side of the Bale River. Book of the Hunt.
Kareth, this is no place for sightseeing, even for you. The beasts of Galloway's Maw are dangerous, and now more than ever.
This is Galloway's Maw.
Yes, a den of beasts sacred to the Lord of the Hunt himself. Historically, the greatest predator of Air Glanfath has claimed the back of the Maw as its lair. Lately, however, there's been some dispute as to who should occupy that position. And it's leading to discord among our hunters.
Something else? I prefer action to talk, but I'll answer your questions as best as I can. Tell me about yourself. I am the leader of the Fangs. We're an order of hunters and warriors devoted to Galloway, and we see that the places of the builders remain pure. Not truly a tribe, but we do gather and argue, like one. Our members come from all of the tribes, but most of us were born Three-Tusked Stelgar, Fisher-Crane, and Keepers of the Stone naturally. What's wrong with the beasts?
They won't fight.
What's wrong with that?
It is not Galloway's way, and it is not the way of the Maw.
The Maw has always been home to one great predator. Every so often a challenger comes along and the two battle for territory. But Sul remains in her den, and Ernest can't confront her there. No two mighty predators and their kin hunt from the same stock. It's thinning the herds, and it's thinning patience around here too. He resumes his pacing. And this waiting, it's not the deliberate, watchful waiting of a hunter laying in an ambush. It's stagnation, tedium, hoping for something to happen. He clenches his hands into fists. But I'm powerless to act. One half of the fangs will cry favoritism if I try to drag the lioness out myself. I want to know about the two predators. There's never been a more cunning hunter than Sul, but some say she's losing her edge. Ernest, on the other hand, is all edge, and many of our number think that he is the rightful successor. His fingers drum a restless rhythm on his thigh. Blood's simmering, it's going to boil over if a little doesn't spill soon. Would you favor Sul or Ernest? He frowns. I see both sides. Sul's cunning is unmatched, but Ernest is the mightier of the two. Both embody traits prized by Galloway. I am an unbiased outsider. I could look into it. And the cunning one, from the looks of you. He scratches his cheek. No harm in letting you try, I suppose. Anything better than this endless waiting. If you can somehow break this to a resolution, these tensions will end. If not, he grins, the beast will make short work of you. He gives you a heavy iron key. We don't normally permit outsiders to venture into the Maw, but you understand that you do so at your own risk, and Sul's lions are likely to attack intruders on sight. Still, perhaps you can coax her into fighting the bear. Do whatever you can to end this stalemate. Let's talk about something else. Such as where I could find Sul. Straight at the back of the Maw. He points down the halls on either side of him. You could get through either way, but mind where your feet step. The Maw is a dangerous place, and Sul's pride and her advocates are on the alert. Where is Ernest? Good question. Bear's out hunting right now, but he'll return soon. He is never gone for long. Goodbye. Two mighty hunters, a lioness and a bear, wait in a deadlock. They face off but do not fight. It falls to me to resolve this tail conflict the one way or another. The greatest predator in Erglanfad has tragically lived in the maw as Galavan's favorite. Sul, a lioness, has held that position for decades. Ernos, a bear that come to challenge her, but Sul has refused to meet him. Without a fight to resolve the matter, the fangs are split over which beast is the rightful champion. Destin, their leader hopes that I can coax Sul into open combat.
Silence surrounds me.
I forgot to check this, but let's get into the maw deeper.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
Lion clanswoman.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
Lava.
Okay. And let's stun him right away.
Lava fire.
Two. Oh, you forgot to stun him. Okay, let's do this. And you heal yourself. And you again. You go here and you try to kill him.
My
Okay, too low
mind feels sharp as steel.
damage.
Be cautious. Be constant.
Certainly.
Oldsong district. Let's check where this goes. Interesting. So let's go back again. Another lion.
My mind.
Well, let's finish your soul weapon. Ouch.
Yeah?
Just in case. Oh. This.
What?
Small mistake. Here is -2 Mident. Oh,
Slow and silent.
shitty debuff. Serves me right.
Now here's something.
Let's
Oh?
mend him a little.
Certainly. Sharp eyes and keen ears. It's done. Now here's something.
The remains of a broken bridge, long collapsed, lead to a deep chasm. The other side of the bridge pierces through the mist at the far end of the chasm, hanging precariously over the steep fall. Examine the area. The broken stones of the bridge, weathered after centuries of disrepair, are scattered along the edge and side of the chasm. A thin mist rises from below. The stones are coated with a slick green moss, making them impossible to grip safely. The wooden beams lodged between the stones of either side of the bridge seem sturdy enough to support your weight. However, the remains of a broken bridge, long collapsed, lead to a deep chasm. The other side of the bridge pierces through the mist at the far end of the chasm, hanging precariously over the steep fall. Toss your rope and grappling hook across the chasm. You aim for the wooden beam on the opposite side of the bridge and hurl your grappling hook across the chasm. It strikes the bridge with a solid thunk. The hook snags firmly, digging into the wood as you pull. The rope tightens taut and secure. You tie the free end of the rope to the wooden beam next to you. The remains of a broken bridge, long collapsed, lead to a deep chasm. The other side of the bridge pierces through the mist at the far end of the chasm, hanging precariously over the fall steep. Your rope stretches across the gap, across the chasm. The rope tenses and vibrates as you move forward, gripping the line, reverberating through the underground cave. The creaks of the wooden beam marks your every effort. You keep your progress slow and steady. The crossing is strenuous, particularly as the rope's shaking grows more intense. Mamalia's breathing grows labored. At least your efforts bring you back over solid ground, and you reach the other side. But he is fatigued. Oh, boo-hoo. My big friend, you missed the point again. She owed it to Alva. Cross the chasm. You reach the other side without accident. The knots on the other side of the bridge remain secure, and the wooden beams appear undamaged by the strain of your passage.
On the hunt.
Let's get this way first. Lion.
Just a quick nap.
How many? 4 more, and you have 14 more.
I'm on the trail.
The mist rising from the depths feels heavy and warm.
What?
Let's do this, and you stun this. You change. What the hell? Where are you? Let me use this. Oh, sigh. One more.
The huntress's strength.
You... not this. This.
My mind feels satisfied.
Spot on!
Let me do this and...
Spot on!
And again...
God of... just a quick nap.
And another casualty.
If secrets whisper
Oh, a trap.
here, I shall listen for them.
It's done. Certainly. What have we here?
Unlocked. Good. Shit.
What happened?
That was a little bit tough.
I'm ready.
Oh?
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Again! For fuck's sake.
What have we? Certainly.
Slow and silent.
Oh?
Finally.
Now here's something.
And it's too heavy. No.
Oh? Oh? Oh?
The mist rising from the depths feel heavy and warm. No more traps? Thankfully no. But let's get here first.
Quiet.
Failed. Let's stamina. A little bit rusty.
Yes?
And Palagina hit him.
I'm ready.
I can't move!
One again. You and you, whoever kills it first.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Good.
Yes, just a quick nap.
Slow and silent.
Yes?
And you do this.
What?
Not you. You.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
And once again stun him.
My mind feels sharp as steel. My mind feels sharp as steel.
Still no level up. One more. Oh, sigh.
I'm on the trail.
Certainly.
Oops. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Now here's something.
Don't think I can hold out much longer.
Yeah, shitty traps.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
That's it.
Yeah?
What?
Ready, Watcher. I'm ready.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Certainly.
Let's try out this. A thick, snarled tangle of dagger-sharp thorns and vines has grown across this passage. As you look on, the entire wall of vegetation seems to move almost like it were breathing. The thick coils of vines twist and writhe across the gap with a quiet rustle of foliage. Examine the vines. Through the gaps and the twisting vegetation, you catch brief glimpses of what seems to be wide circular chamber. From time to time, you catch sight of tawny heights and the rustling of vines briefly obscured by low growls. Try to sneak through the living wall. You find a brief opportunity as two vines move in opposite direction, clearing a path and carefully step forward. You start off well, moving carefully around and past the web of plants, but halfway through, Hiravia steps on a dry dead branch, and the vine suddenly darts forward with unnatural speed. The vines tighten mercilessly around Hiravia's legs, and the ensuing struggle shakes the surrounding vegetation, stirring it into a writhing frenzy. Hiravias finally tears their way free and limps up past the edge of the wall. You step out into the next chamber.
I'll take a look.
Oh. A shortcut. An elven woman intercepts you as you advance into the lair. Behind her is the largest lioness you've ever seen, a sleek beast with fangs as long as carving knives. The woman blocks your path to the lioness, seemingly at ease around the monster. This is Sue, Domain Emma Estramore. She shall not leave it for Ernos or any other challenger. What are you doing here with Sue? She looks at the lion with something between fondness and admiration, defending the rightful champion of Galavan's Maw. Ernos supporters would have her ousted in favor of a bear that isn't strong enough to come and seize its territory on its own. Why does Sul refuse to face Ernos? Ernos is welcome to confirm her here, as many challengers have in the past. What the bear supporters want is for Sul to leave her lair and fight in the open, where he has an advantage. But why should she? If Sul has an advantage here, it's one she's earned. Would anyone expect to blunt the bear's claws in order to even the odds? The Lord of the Hunt the Lord of the Hunts gives unique advantages to each. It's not for us to decide that some of them are worth less than others. The lioness gives you a low growl, and Irensi smiles. Also, Sul has recently given birth to cubs. They're small now, but when they grow, they'll be mightier than either Sul or Ornos. But if Sul is killed in combat, that bear will tear her young to shreds. Such is the way of the wild. Her legacy is too valuable to perish this way. If we truly want the mightiest of beasts in the maw, then her cubs must grow to maturity. I'll deal with Ernos. Good. That bear isn't nearly as strong as Enden and his followers think. If someone were to prove just how easily that bear can be killed, that would cure everyone of their delusions about it. Irevias glares at you with a worried smirk. I wonder what Galavan will think of all this. His great lioness gets someone else to deal with her challenger? He falls silent for a moment before becoming instantly cheerful, and I would love to watch someone other than me offend the Seeker God. I can't wait to see how he tests them for their lack of decisiveness. Irensi explained that Sul's adventures in the Maw is one she has earned and one that no hunters of her cunning would concede. If Ernos wishes to seize her position, he should confront her in her lair. Furthermore, Sul has given birth to cubs that could one day be mightier than either beast if allowed to mature. If neither beast will approach the other, then I will have to settle matters on my own. Ain then believes that Sul must be eliminated if she won't face Ernos in open combat. We'll see.
Silence surrounds me. What have we here?
Braces of deflection. Tufts of thorny fern and crushed grasses carpet a small hollow in the back of the cavern. And another one.
Now here's something.
Okay. A dense tangle of thorns blocks the path, the vines twitch and wriggle. Well, looks like that's it. Let's see how it will go with the bear. Let's go here for a while and speak with the guy one more time. If he will change his mind after he gets that the lioness has small cups. Oh. He ran away, so he will be probably here.
Still looking around? Watch your step. Tempers run hot around here, and not just among the animals.
Sul refuses to meet Ernos. Ernos doesn't seem willing to approach Sul either. I was afraid of that. He scratches his chin and frowns. At this point, it doesn't much matter which beast is champion so long as the issue is settled. I can't take a side, but you've been through them all. Slay one of the beasts in combat, and the Fangs will accept the other as champion. It's the way of them all. Something else? I prefer action to talk, but I'll answer your question as best I can. Goodbye. Destin has given me his blessing to slay one of the beasts. The Fangs will accept the other as a champion.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
Let's quick save and see what the guys at the bear have to say. Okay, I got ass kicked last time, and I see why I got ass kicked, because I didn't notice the major fatigue of my party. So before moving further, I just take a nap. The morning is cold and silent. You are upon the plateau of the birthing bell, and there is no sound, no wind. The sky is a smooth mortar-red grey. The forest beneath the plateau, nothing more than a jagged black silhouette. Even the rock, the other around you, it feels colder. The sun's warmth bleeds from it. Against the cold backdrop of the sky, you see the great bright birthing bell hanging from its arch of Adra. Its surface is tarnished, and the shadows inside the bell are dark still. It seems to press down upon you, or simply sadly watching, as if standing above the grave formed from the table of the plateau and the remains of the mother's womb that now covers its surface. And there is something heavy in your hands. It breathes, gurgling, slick and wet, yet that is all it is. You find yourself filled with fear. You don't want to look at what you are holding. You don't want to touch it with your mind, and it is all you can do not to cast it from you. Examine what lies in your hands. The mass before you is vacant. Flesh is the shape of a newborn. Bubbles of saliva bunch the mouth, expelled by its steady, gurgling breath. Its arms, legs, head lolling, limp. No thought, no struggle, no desire to cry in protest or pain. There is nothing from within. There is an absence in your hands. Your hands tremble, shake, and the silence is broken, as the chimes on your wrists echo with the trembling. And the chimes do not echo in the thoughts of the mass in your hands. There is no soul within to hear it. Reach out with your thoughts. The only emotion blanketing the plateau are the pain of the mother. The child breathes. Its heart beats, but it makes no cry. The child feels light, empty. There is no joy in it, no fear, no thoughts at all. Yet in the hollows inside it, it breathes, a thing of habit, not life. You cannot move. Your trembling has subsided, and the birthing chimes on your wrists are as still as the child. The mother is crying, eager to see, begging to see the child. You feel a sudden spike of fear, of being hunted. If you give the child to the mother, you will be blamed, and her anguish and rage shall fall upon you. She will not spare you or anyone you love. Of this you are certain. But you did not cause this. You don't think you caused it. And the mother begs, her arms outstretched. Hand her the child. The chimes sound once more as you give the child to its mother, and as the chime fades, there is the eager gleam, and the welling joy, the questioning, and you draw upon it deeply, letting the hope stream into her eyes, letting her ears fill with the cries that you have heard countless times past from other children on the bell. You hear the laughter in the mother's voice and streams of tears that run down the face, and with the practiced motion you weave a life that will never be into her eyes and thoughts. She will care for the child as if it were all until you set her free. She will care for it until you find a way to heal what has happened, until the reality cannot be dispelled anymore. And still, cradled beneath the weeping woman that birthed it, the child in her arms does not hear the cries of the mother, does not react. It is an empty thing that breathes and carries nothing within it. And the chimes on your wrists lie still. They are bound to you like chains, never sound inside the newborn mind ever again. Wake up. Okay. Unfortunately, I missed the guy who was too expensive for my liking, but I should have hired him. In this latest dream, the grieving mother delivered a hollow bar. Yet, when the time came to surrender the child to its mother, she used her ability as a cipher to convince the woman that her child is whole and healthy. Only the grieving mother can tell me what this means and whether I can trust her now. We will talk to her a little bit later. Now, let's try and do the fight. Fully healed. Just one more thing.
Certainly.
Okay. Aiden seeks, spinning his axe by the shaft. Too much waiting. Something got to happen soon. Ernest isn't the rightful champion.
If you stand on the side of that toothless old bag of bones, then you stand in my way.
He hefts his axe. The bear growls. Try me. Okay, you will attack him. You will drop him and you will stun him. We will do this and There.
I'm ready.
He is casting it already. Good. Let's change into the thingy and kill the clansman. You need to heal yourself and you need this as well. Let's do this for now. And you... you go here. Here we killed the bear, so the next will be this elder bear, and let's do it this way. Okay. Hit, giving another hit. Hit and okay, another elder bear is down. And now your turn to
Mind feels shut.
no. The Anden is too powerful. With the exception of him, let's kill the... let's go and then now and try to stun him. You heal yourself and you heal yourself as well. Good. He is down and last one. I've resolved the stalemate between the beasts. Destin will want to know the outcome. But before the outcome, we will level up the Grieving Mother. Fine, exceptional, fine. Inventory, let's put everything here and here. And -4 perception. Anyway, let's level her up. 14. Let's use the stealth. let's go with this one. Pretty fast leveling. Let's finish the quest now.
Certainly.
Still looking around? Watch your step. Tempers run hot around here, and not just among the animals.
I dealt with the situation between Syl and Ernos. And Syl remains champion. Many of the Fangs are gladdened to see her stay. Perhaps it's Galavan's way of telling us to remember our roots and prize our cunning as hunters. He raises an eyebrow, although I suppose I could have guessed as much when you ventured into the maw. Thank you for your help, Karath. May Galavan guide your path. Take this with our thanks. He seems to suddenly remember something. You might visit Terevron to pray to the Lord of the Hunt. He sometimes grants special favors for those who prove themselves. I supported Syl as Galavan's established champion. And what I received? A unique sword. I'll keep it for now. Maybe someone else will need that better. But let's try to speak with the soul one more time. Just so curious if anything can be taken from her as a reward as well. Any news of the bear? I've dealt with Ernos. You choose well. Syl's cubs will grow up to be quick and fierce, and so will the Fangs if we follow their example. She looks at the sleek lioness. Thank you for resolving this extra more. Oh, that's it. Okay. So let's get outside, pass through the vines. The thorny vines are twisted together, forming a wall. They quiver and begin to part as you draw near. As you walk forward, the vines shift and their thorn retracts, providing you with a clear and safe pathway through. You emerge unscathed on the other side. Okay, let's get outside. So we can ask for two gods and Tevren or how it's called. I'm sometimes gets too confused with all the names. So, Nanunfrost is the last place to go. Let's try to check it out.
I'm on the trail.
Prison of Ice. I've found Noonfrost. The Glamfelon have clearly established a presence here. If they're responsible for Alva's disappearance, I doubt they'll admit as much. Still, I may be able to track her on my own. Okay, let's check a little bit around what we can find here. Oh. The pale elf searches you with ice-blue eyes. He shifts and knits her fingers together. Welcome to Noonfrost. Most of the temple is currently closed for sacred ceremonies to Rimergant. She forces a smile and waves to the eastern doorway. The shrine is to your right. You are welcome to make your offerings to Rimergant there, but the rest of the temple is off limits. Why is the most of the temple closed? As I said, we are in the middle of a sacred ceremonies, she enunciates carefully. They are rather complex and we don't permit outsiders to witness them. She glances at the elves over her shoulders. Other of my clan get rather touchy about them, which is why you should visit the shrine and take your leave. Her eyes dart between the two doors on either side of the room. If that's all, what are you doing here? My clan journeyed from the Wide Advance to pay homage to Rimergant here at Noonfrost. We'd learned that this place had been abandoned for several years, and we felt it our duty to tend to one of our god's oldest temples. She rolls her shoulders back. It has been a long journey, but Rimergant demands endurance. No doubt he will reward us for ours. Sagani's mouth is set in a grim frown. I hope it is. Tell me about Rimergant. She squints at you. You are also from the Wide Advance. How is it that you don't know Rimergant? He is the god of cold, entropy, and collapse. Many see him as harsh god, but few recognize that he also gives life in his own way, all thanks to wind, to a merciful and in his shadow, only to feed creation elsewhere. She frowns, gnawing her lip. But he is a silent god, and his ways are mysterious. To follow him is to accept inevitably, without explanation. In this matter, and in the legacy, it seems the gods are often silent when the most crave guidance. It seems the cold has spread from Noonfrost. She stiffens. Remigrant is the god of winter. It's been many years since this temple was attended, so there's nothing strange about the little chill around the place now. She lowers her head. If it bothers you, then perhaps you should go. Goodbye.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
And this will be it for today. Yes, this will be it. So, I got a little bit ass kicked, but first, let me tend her wounds and say goodbye to everyone who watched today's episode. If you liked it, feel free to follow me on my Twitch channel or my Mixer channel, and also feel free to subscribe on my YouTube channel. So, see you later and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.